Wolftick Nation, thank you guys for tuning into once again another Wolftick Videos episode. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, this is supposed to be initial impressions episode. Well, guys, we're on our way to get the bike.
Well, we don't know for sure. We haven't got there. We don't know.
We haven't been there yet.
And listen, I must say right now, I got to acknowledge some stuff. You know, I'm going to acknowledge a few things, and this time I don't want you to edit it out. Damn it, I want to get this through to the Wolftick Nation, and every time I try to tell them stuff, you edit it out.
Go ahead.
I mean, wow, this is bad. This is a whole new level of evil right here.
You're going to need the elbow pad. It's about damn time our Morrilton Walmart has a freaking bike that we want to buy. So we're excited about it. On today's episode,
in small,
we're going to take it back to the shop. We got to go to the gym right now. We're going to get done with the gym. We're going to go back and film the rest of this episode. We're going to do initial impressions, positive, negative, who this bike is for, and we're going to weigh it. We're going to do all that good stuff and talk about just basically everything that this bike has to offer, what it lacks, and it's gonna be interesting. So if you guys,
and then hopefully we can take it this weekend and put it to the test.
Yeah, we'll be doing a real-time review on later episodes. So make sure you guys turn
weather permitting.
We do the initial impressions, and then we take it on everybody's favorite test track, if weather permitting, another
place,
or another place. But most of the time we take it to everybody's favorite test track, the Cat's Meow in Hot Springs, and we put this thing to the test. All right. So guys, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's go pick this bike up. We're on our way to Walmart right now, and we'll meet you guys back in the shop. All right, guys, here we go.
Did you check the audio on that?
Yeah. Look, don't look at me like that.
Dude, son, you done wore me the out already.
Just because I want to do things a little bit different.
No, that's not what. That's the problem.
Pick your copy back up.
That's not what you want. You don't want to do things a little different. You just don't know what the you're doing. You're flailing everywhere.
Wolfman doesn't like change.
Dude, it's not... You can't say you're trying to do something different when you sit there and argue the fact that we don't do things a certain way and we do it a different way. And I'm sitting there like, I bring up all kinds of examples and you go, and it's like, what's established my memory's bad. And then you want to say that you're not trying to change it. You just don't know what you're doing.
All right, guys, here we go. We are back at the shop with the Schwinn Axum Sport 27.5 as promised. Here we go. Is this not a good-looking bike or what? Tell me your initial impressions on the look of the bike.
I'm going to go out and look, see if the moon's full is what I need to do.
Just look at this. Look at this bike and tell me what you think.
Me?
It's a gorgeous
or are you
bike.
asking them?
You.
Well, if you're asking me, I think it looks... I think the bike looks good. It does have the Axum look.
Yeah.
But I think right off the bat, we're not to this point yet in the video. But I think... By just looking at it, it looks like an updated replacement version of the aluminum comp.
And right now, you can get the aluminum comp. You can check out the affiliate link in the description below for $181. That bike should have been priced at that a long time ago. It's a 3x freewheel, and that bike, it's a good bike, don't get me wrong, and obviously it's upgradable. We've done a bunch of upgrades to ours, the Comp Zerker we call it, but for a while there, before this one came out, it went back up to $298 after being for $248 forever. And it was actually lower than that. Then they put it up.
When we first got into this, started doing this, the bike was $224 when they first released it.
Yeah.
Because then when they first released that, and then the other ones along with it.
So anyway, you can get that bike for $181, but I do agree with Wolfman on this. I think it is the replacement for the Schwinn aluminum comp. Now, I have not seen a large yet. There was a medium on the floor, and there was this one. I also went on Walmart's site to look at this bike, and all they said is it's offered in a small and a medium. And the big differences I can see, you would think, well, maybe they went to a 29er. No, like most Axums are. Still kept with the 27.5 wheel set, and the paint scheme is the only thing that's different.
In the medium.
Yeah, in the medium.
We don't know about a large.
No, it's like a dark turquoise. What I'm saying is on the large, there's not one yet. There's just a medium, a small and a medium.
That we know of. We can't say that
I did the research earlier, right? I did research.
Oh, good Lord, man. But don't start with your research.
So, I'm going to read you guys a little card here because I don't think we've ever done this. Features. A tapered head tube and dropper post routing, allowing for easy upgrades. So, obviously, this bike, they're like, hey, put some upgrades on it. Tapered head tube, you want to get a tapered fork, and a little internal routing for a dropper if that's something that you guys are interested in doing. I love droppers. Now, brakes, mechanical disc brakes, powerful, all-conditioning braking, mechanical brakes. I'm a big hydraulic brake guy, but we have done some upgrades with some mechanical brakes that are pretty damn good.
I think we still have some from LeBron Photo.
Not.com.
Sitting over there somewhere.
Now, 1x7 range drivetrain offering responsive shifting across all trail types. We will be doing a shift test on this bike. The frame, lightweight aluminum frame, features low standover height. We'll be testing that out too.
We'll see.
This bike, being a small, is recommended.
Of you.
Yeah, recommended for riders 5'1" to 5'5", and the medium, I believe, is riders 5'4" to 5'9".
So you're actually at the high part of the recommendation.
Yeah, so hopefully the cockpit and everything feels really good in this, but we will be doing the standover. Also, the frame on this does tell you available in a small and a medium. So
it says right there too.
Yeah. Usage, smooth, responsive handling on a variety of trail types, designed for off-road use. Multiple features maximize trail performance. And we're going to be putting that to the test on the real-time review.
Whoa. Well, it says it's designed for off-road use?
Designed for off-road use, multiple features maximize trail performance.
The whole bike or just one particular item?
All of it. That was at the top. I read it from the bottom up. All right. So let's do the magnet test.
Why would you start from the bottom?
We're going to start with a magnet test. We're going to see what everything is before we get into the measurements and what all this bike comes with. The bar, steel bar. Okay. Stem, aluminum stem. The crank arms are aluminum. All right. The seat post tube is steel. All right. The cassette back here, this is a freewheel. We'll be talking about the group set, is steel. Oof. Wow. So we're used to stainless spokes. These are steel spokes. Okay. And then the wheel is aluminum. All right. The fork, lowers are going to be steel.
Wait.
Uppers going to be steel.
Hang on. Stainless steel is magnetic?
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think it is, because my Yeti is stainless steel. It's not magnetic.
It's probably not real stainless steel. It's probably aluminum that's made to look like stainless steel. Yeah. Am I tripping or are you tripping? Who's tripping?
Leave it in the comments. Who's tripping here?
Stainless steel's magnetic, though.
I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. All right. Now let's go and start talking about the specs of this bike. This is something that we talked about earlier. As of right now, Walmart.com, they don't show any specs for this bike, standover, geometry, reach, nothing like that. So what we're going to do is we pulled out a tape measure and we started measuring stuff, right? Looks like we have a 55 millimeter stem, which was measured with the caliper tool, all right? It does look like it has maybe 10 degrees of rise on it. The bars are right at 730-ish millimeters, which is, I do like that, as opposed, and you would think that millimeters are pretty damn tiny, but I do like that because it's the wider the better in my opinion, and I've cut bars to 720 before, and we've ridden a lot of bikes with 720s, and that's a huge difference. 720, 730, 740, 750, it's a big difference. They could be a little bit wider, preferably a 740, but realistically these days, not a lot of bikes from Walmart, budget bikes under $300, come with something over a 720. The grips up here, man, what does your guy say? The guy that you watch on YouTube, he says, y'all are goofy. These grips are goofy. Them grips, guys, they're not lock-on grips. I don't know. Those damn things look like they come off of a damn cruiser.
He calls people a goofy.
These grips are goofy.
Whiskey throttle right off the bat.
Yeah, we're going to be whiskey. That's some bar spinach all day. The fork is going to be, the stanchion width is going to be a 32 millimeter stanchion.
Well, it definitely looks better than the last one.
It's a lot beefier.
But I will say this, though. It's going to be a fork.
Oh, it's going to be a fork. It's coil all day. The thing that's funny is the Axum FS, the full suspension that we just got, the Axum FS had, what, 29 or 28 millimeter stanchions?
29.
So this was actually 32. Right? Now, we're going to check from the top to the bottom of the little dust shield here, if you want to call it that, the amount of travel, what's shown, the exposed stanchion, is 81.6 millimeters. And I'm guessing that's going to be...
Not travel, that's exposed stanchion.
I'm guessing it's probably somewhere around 60 or something like that.
And on
the real-time review, believe you me, we will be stopping at our famous spot, if it's a Cat's Meow or one of the other trails, and to see if there's any paint that's been coming off of these guys and how much travel we've actually used, because I have a feeling we're going to be bottoming this thing out. This is a 31.6 millimeter seat post. All right, so it's a little bit thicker for some of you thicker riders. I know a lot of people back in the day used to hate on the 27.2. It's a 31.6 with a decent looking saddle.
For you thicker riders?
Yeah, it's like thicker riders always hate on that.
How do you know it's thicker riders that hate on it?
I don't know. Look,
I think the people hating on it is availability of different droppers and stuff. I don't think it has to do with their thickness.
I don't know. I think it's the thickness. So this is something that does bother me, and this will be on my negative list. Look how much that seat post drops down. It's like, man.
Whoa. That's all the way down?
That's all the way down.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's all the way down.
Does it have...
Yeah, it's got a little quick release clamp here, a seat post clamp. That's as low as it goes.
I don't even know.
So that's just
that's
about
like
level.
That's like where you would keep it.
Yeah, I know. So that's probably me for pumping my legs when I'm climbing. It's definitely going to be in the way. That sucks because this bike being a small, I can't wait to do the standover. I think it's really going to be maneuverable.
We can't cut the seat post until after. We can make adjustments. We cannot do modifications.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the brakes. The brake department. There are mechanical brakes. We kind of talked about that a little bit. I will actually say when it comes to the mechanical brakes and the levers on these, they're quite nice. Feel that lever. It's so different than what we're used to. They're actually like grippy and small. I like them.
Yeah,
I think it's cool. I mean, look at the way it whips around there.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of a Shimano, or is it? Yeah, Shimano lever. One of the upper end Shimano levers, but it feels like a cheapened version of one of those upper end Shimanos.
So that's changed up is kind of a neat thing, especially for riders like me that ride in Arkansas. Super humid. I do wear gloves. They get sweaty, and it's nice to have a little bit of extra grip on the fingers. This will probably be a 4-finger brake, but we'll put that to the test.
Well, I mean, let's not do that.
The levers,
you never know.
The levers and both the 2-piston brakes are not branded, but the rotors are branded. They're Schwinn rotors, 160 millimeters, both front and rear.
I've always liked those rotors.
Yeah, so we've got mechanical disc brakes that are going to be a 6-bolt on there. Let's talk about the wheel set. All right, the wheel set is a Schwinn branded wheel set that is a Schrader drilled wheel set.
We don't know for sure what the spoke material is or anything.
Don't know for sure, but...
Are they double-walled?
Hey, if you don't want to... I still don't know who sent us this. If you don't want to run a Schrader, you want to run a Presta...
Didn't somebody own up to it?
You can always get one of these guys here. If you guys can see that, it's a little dark over there. These here basically can convert your wheel from a Schrader to a Presta. All right, and it comes with a cool little tool in there, so that's neat. So we do have a 32-spoke, both front and rear rim. Now, the weird thing with this bike, and this is something I think that's cost-effective, and it kind of bothers me that they hit us where it hurts with this.
Uh-oh. Where'd they hit us?
The front wheel is a quick release, and the rear is a threaded axle.
Oh, bolt-on?
It's a bolt-on. That really sucks. And the reason why is because now I need to make sure I have a multi-tool that actually has a 15 millimeter.
That really does suck. So that means now even more so, have we got to the free hub debate?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, when we get to that, we can talk about it more. But really, that sucks for double reason because we have to speed up the process to hurry up and get to that because you don't want to have something to take a bolt off.
And that's going to be bulky. Now, guys, they do have these. And maybe one of these days we'll do a video on these. These right here are skewers that basically are able to convert your threaded axle to a quick release axle. And that will work with a freewheel. So we do have these. You could do that, but that's still not going to change your wheel into a free hub, which this one is a free wheel, right? And we all know the problem with that. But we'll be getting to the gearing and talking about that here in a second. And it's something that I'm really looking forward to trying, honestly. A lot of times I will say that, like, oh, this is going to be terrible. This is going to be really good. Just wait till I tell you what it's got in the back, all right? So we've got that. Now, the wheel department. These wheels are unbranded wheels. But what I do like is they're 27 by 2.4, and just like the Axum FS, I believe it's the same exact wheel tread design. What I like about it is a 2.4, but it's a fat 2.4. The rear wheel, the chainstay is like a ways, like a whole finger width away from the tire. So I think this thing, we could put some 2.6s on, no problem. Quite possibly a 2.8, because there's a lot of room back here.
Well, you're talking...
And that's exciting.
I gotta make sure that's not just all coming right out of your...
Check it. Look at that. Well, that's a lot of room. That's a 2.4. I mean, 2.6 might be right there.
I'm going to say 2.6. Yes. I'm not saying 2.8. I'm saying let's see what a 2.6 would look like.
Quite possibly a 2.8. I think that would be cool.
I'm not saying impossible a 2.8. I'm saying I'm not even talking about that yet.
Yeah, so very interesting there. Again, I don't like the through axle in the rear. That really bothers me. I just wish they would give us a quick release. Let's talk about the group set. Okay, this is one of the exciting parts of this bike. This is a 1x7 Falcon. Okay, and the cool thing is the shifter is a thumb shifter and an index index shifter only. I love the index shifter just because a lot of the times you want to be kind of death grip in that bar, especially when going downhill. I do have a habit of shifting for speed, so I'll start hitting that index shifter, and it's nice to be able to just put my finger right back on the bar as opposed to having to reach up underneath and get really weird with the thumb. All right, so index shifter, I like that. 1x7. The front chainring is a 30-tooth round chainring, 170 millimeter crank arms with the plastic pedals. All right, the pedals look really bad on this thing. 170 millimeter aluminum crank arms. Now going to the rear, the Falcon GYR derailleur. This thing has got a clutch on it. Okay, the clutch looks like it might break off. When did I break off that time? I broke one of them off. That was a sun race, I think.
Yeah, you just straight broke that son. And I'm like, what are you doing?
This
you
one
just
here
straight up broke it.
This one here looks like it's going to get broken, so we're going to have to be very minimal. We're going to be doing the drop test.
Can you please not mess with it?
But it's got the big old switch back here.
Oh.
And the freewheel is a GYR 7-speed 14 to 40 tooth cassette.
Okay.
It's a 40 tooth, 14 to 40.
Well, hang on. This don't make... Why couldn't they have used that on the Axum? Well, that's a free hub, though.
It's a free hub, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So at least they give you a 14 to 40, and I'm really looking forward to doing some climbing with this thing to see how it feels. You know, like I was thinking it was going to be like an 11 to 24 or a 27. But
I was thinking a 30-something.
And they squeezed that into 7-speed, so that's pretty cool, you know? One thing, too, is the bottom bracket is actually a sealed cartridge. Yeah, you can see the bearings here. So that's nice. I like that.
If it's sealed, how do you see the bearings?
Well, because you can see the sealed part on the bearing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
Just making sure I'm
Yeah, it looks like it's an entire sealed shell from the looks of it.
Cartridge.
All right. Now, on the tapered head tube, the exciting thing, right? We talked about this fork, but the fork is a straight steer. It has the adapter welded in there. Basically, it's a crown race that's welded, and it does have open ball bearings. So all of that basically is just squeezed onto that tapered head tube. So if you guys are looking at getting another fork, you're going to have to get a headset with a proper crown race for a tapered fork to actually fit this thing. It's the tapered or the crown race that's on this fork is going to be unusable. So that's kind of a downside to it. If you want to look at some upgrades, just make sure you guys put that in the cart as well. All right. Other than that, man, I don't think it's a bad looking bike. I like the looks a lot. Again, there's going to be some stuff in the negatives and the positives. But one thing I want to do is I'm curious on the seat post tube. I want to see, since it's internally routed, I want to pull my industrial endoscope out.
Oh,
I want to take this seat post tube out before we do the drop test.
Hey,
I want to go down in there and look at it.
if you're going to do that, can you see what's blocking that post from going all the way down?
Yeah, we're going to find out. We're going to do some science. Look at this, guys. Check out the affiliate links in the description below for one of these. We'll see if it
Do we
works.
have an affiliate link for that?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here is the internal.
Yep, that's what's blocking. I bet you right there.
Yeah,
That's
look
what I was
at how
saying.
much it's riveted out.
Well, you know why, though? To prevent from cutting that cable.
We just got to make sure the orientation's right on this thing.
Whoa, man, that looked pornographic for a minute. Oh, man, that was scary.
Okay, you getting it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Let's see if we can go a little closer. I don't know if it focuses.
So that's going to be...
This is riveting.
Yeah, it's a sealed bond bracket. That's cool.
This is riveting.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm sure by now people are going, what are we watching? I thought this was a damn bike channel.
I did forget to mention, that was some science right now, but I did forget to mention that this does have a kickstand. Okay?
You didn't mention the kickstand?
It's got a damn kickstand on it.
I'm surprised you didn't talk about it's going to weigh 30 pounds and all that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we go to weigh it. All right, so here's the clutch. Are we going to have this on or off?
Got a dork disc too. You know what? I don't care.
Let's go off right now.
Yeah.
Let's go off.
Let's start with off.
All right, guys, we're in first gear.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready for this action?
Yeah. Second.
Okay. Oh, the shifter's not bad.
Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth gear. Sixth gear. Seventh gear. Okay.
That felt good. That can't be right.
All right.
Ooh.
Second gear.
That was...
Third.
Really?
Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Seventh.
Okay, here, I got to do full pulls. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah. Okay.
This is too good to be true. Might have to try it with the clutch on just to see. All right, ready?
Full pull the freewheel. Holy!
First time.
No way.
That was a one-pull Johnson.
That was a one-pull Johnson from 7th to 1st gear.
One-pull Johnson. Yeah, let's
Clutch
try it with the
on.
on because that was too good.
Clutch on. We're going to be doing a drop test. All right.
All right, ready? Okay.
3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th.
You ready for one-pull Johnson again?
Do it.
Here we go. One-pull Johnson. One-pull Johnson every time.
Wolfman's all proud of himself over there. He has hands up right now.
Hey, I'm throwing hands. Like, that's cool.
That's really cool. All right, guys. So the shift test was a success. The endoscope was
I don't know if that was a success.
kind of a success. Now we're going to do the drop test. We're going to weigh this thing. We'll do positive, negatives, and who this bike is for. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button, please. Standover, guys. You guys ready? Flip-flops?
Flip-flops 5'5".
It's good. You know.
And you are 5'5", and this is up to 5'5".
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that there's an inch where the crotch is. There would be if this damn seat post was in.
Well, is there? Let me ask you. I know because their frame design is always a little funky with that. Now let me ask you this though. Since you're at the top end of it, is a 5'1" guy going to be able to stand over that? I mean, we're talking.
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think
it's gonna be really close.
Yeah, I mean,
and
they'd
it
have
could
to
be
lay
if a guy's longer legged, maybe.
Yeah, but they would have to lay it over to put a foot down. But you know what's nice though is it feels like it's pretty tiny. Like when I sit right here on the seat in the cockpit.
Okay, how's that cockpit?
It's so weird. It almost gives me an illusion like I'm on an old mountain bike. And what I mean by that is the top tube is super thin to me. And the paint, the decals aren't really helping that because it kind of tapers down. I mean, the whole top tube kind of has this tapered feel. It almost feels like it's a very upright bike. We're fixing to test out the slack on it, I guess, the head tube angle,
well,
the best that we can.
We'll check the
because there's nothing listed on that. But it just feels, the cockpit doesn't feel bad. This might be a bike that I can kind of see maybe getting a bar with a little bit more rise to it. This bar has a slight rise, maybe 7 degrees or so. It just seems very tiny in the cockpit. And what's funny is you had mentioned, again, I'm going to bring it up, that this kind of is replacing the aluminum comp.
That's what I think. Yeah.
The aluminum comp was so uncomfortable in the cockpit because it felt so tiny. But we'll see on the real-time review, the aluminum comp would hurt my shoulders just due to the not being able to really extend all the way. It just seemed really crowded. And this here almost has that feel with the initial impressions. Klein Tools, the old stinky gringo himself, sent us this. Thank you. Because now we're able to do this. We're going to go on the lower here.
We're going to put one in the affiliate links.
Yeah, we'll put one in the affiliate link. Let me stand this guy up.
Make sure it's extended all the way.
The fork?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's extended all the way. Front wheel's a little loose. Okay, and it shows 70.
69.9.
69.9, 69.8.
Probably a 68-ish is my guess.
69.8. So we're pretty straight on that. Head tube angle is done. Now, let's weigh this thing. Oh, we got to do a drop test. Got a clutch.
Want to drop test it first?
Yeah, let's do a drop test. Okay, clutch is off.
Okay.
Drop test, 3rd gear. Okay, clutch is on. Ready?
Yep. We'll let people decide how good it worked. I didn't lift it first. I don't know. I don't think it's that heavy though. I think it's gonna be sub 30.
It'll be 33.5.
Is it? Man, I was hoping for sub 30.
Holy.
Am I reading that right?
Dude, it's that kickstand. 37.26.
Good Lord, I should have lifted it first.
Oh my gosh.
I was guessing right at 30.
Wow. Okay, for the UKers out there.
Well, of course, I didn't think about the fork.
And the Aussies. 16.90 kilograms.
Okay.
That's a 37-pound bike, are they sure?
It's a small, too.
37.26.
That's a heavy bike.
Look, it's going to be the fork, the seat post tube, that freaking kickstand.
Handlebar.
The handlebar, that's steel.
Is that
the free wheel
removable?
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get to, but you can remove it. Not only that, but you got to think, this is a threaded axle freewheel. That threaded axle is a good chunk of metal.
Okay, well we can probably shave a few pounds.
All right, guys, here we go. Positives, negatives, who this bike is for. It's 37 pounds. Wow. I can't get over that.
At least there's the gearing for it.
Wow. Yeah, we'll find out in the real-time review.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with some positives. Price point,
$298.
It's $298, okay? And that's for, out of the box, a 1x. That's really cool. That's not a 3x.
30-tooth 1x? You said 30, right?
Yeah, it's a 30-tooth round 1x. Tapered head tube, under $300. I like that a lot.
Clutch derailleur.
Clutch derailleur. Did it do a lot? You guys let us know in the comments. I think that's a big positive. Another positive is it is internally routed for a dropper already. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I do like that. The 2.4-inch tires, I think that's a plus as opposed to a 2.1 that you usually get with that price range. Like that's pretty good. And the rear has a lot of room for a fatter tire. Definitely, like what the Wolfman was saying, a 2.6 for sure, if not a 2.8. So I do like that. Other than that, I think that's going to be my positives for this bike.
Okay, well, I'll add to that. Well, like I said, the clutch derailleur, if it's that effective or not. It shifted, one of the best shifting bikes out of the box we've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that could, people's mileage could vary on that.
I don't know, but that was with the clutch on and off.
That was the best shifting bike especially for a budget bike. That was the best shifting I think we've ever had out of the box. We didn't touch it. Didn't make one adjustment.
No.
And it does look good. I do like it. It does feel a lot like an aluminum comp. The brakes seem to feel good. Haven't rode it yet. The brake levers, the feel of the levers for being a cheap, lever, feel decent.
Yeah.
The leverage feels good on them.
One of the big positives that we didn't mention, but we mention this all the time on our bike searches, guys. A very big positive on this is, and we're going to get to this on who this bike is for, in my opinion, but the brake and the shifter are separate components. They're not one piece.
Yeah.
That's a big upgrade, or a big ability to upgrade, because if you said, man, I don't really have money to buy a rear wheel and get a whole new group set, but I want new hydraulic brakes, you can throw some hydraulic brakes on here without having to switch all that stuff around and make it look really funny. Now, I don't want to hate on this bike too much, but there needs to be some negatives.
For $298, we do have to keep that in mind.
We do have to keep that in mind. Okay. The bikes now with free wheels are with free, this is a free wheel, not a free hub. With free wheels are coming with quick release rears. Even though it's a free wheel, this one came with a through axle and a threaded axle, and that really bothers me. Just making sure you have to have the proper tools just in case you get a flat. And as we've seen on the scale, it does have something to do with the weight, unfortunately. The seat post tube dropping down.
That's all the way down.
That's all the way down. I don't like that. I think it's due to the internal routing. But it's like,
or the curve.
It's a small, like you got to think, if you're 5'5", you don't have massive legs. So maybe they should have really thought about that and went, hey, you don't need a massive seat post tube to go way up for long-legged riders. That's not the issue here. This is a bike that reaches for 5'5" as the max. So give us a shorter seat post tube so we can actually drop that thing down.
I'm going to add to it that we don't know the dropout for sure, but I would like to see the wider dropout if it's indeed 135. At the $298, let's call it $300. At the $300 price point, I think it's time that we see across the board a free hub. I would like to start seeing free hubs in that price range, 300 and up. I wish it was lighter. I think that's heavy for a small hardtail.
Super heavy. That's like full suspension area, man.
Yeah, I really think they could have shed a few pounds by just the stuff you've talked about already. Maybe the seat post, the handlebar, and having a through axle rear wheel. That alone, I think, could have shed probably 2 or 3 pounds. I mean, other than that, for that price, I'm not going to beat it up too much more. That fork is, I just really would like to see a better fork out the box.
Yeah. Now let's talk about who this bike is for.
I sound like a broken record when I say it, because at this point,
you do.
I think this is one of those bikes. I think this one is a little better out of the box than the full suspension for someone that's going to ride it for a while the way it is. I think this is a better out-of-the-box bike for the rider. This one, I think, really, I'm going to say right now, given that the specs on the height of the rider they have in mind, the way it's spec'd out and done, I do believe that this is more for a teenager / a big younger kid that's outgrown the youth size bikes and they're getting into the full size bikes. Yeah. With the sizing and all that.
Maybe something like that, yeah.
And I think a kid that's not really an expert rider, but a kid that's kind of more beginner, I think this is a good upgrade from one of them starter style, like the 24-inch funky bikes and stuff. Yeah. I think this is the next foray into big boy bike status. And it's capable, just from the looks and the specs now, it's capable of holding a kid like that over for a season or two.
And it's $300.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's ready for the guy that wants to hit this season and go, man, I want to spend a season riding and upgrading and finding out what kind of rider I am, what kind of upgrades I want. I want to watch some Wolfstick videos and see their episodes on what are some good budget alternatives maybe to an air fork and pedals and tires. All right, turn notifications on. I think it's for that guy that's a big fan of the channel and wants to do some budget upgrades and maybe even throw a little bit of money at this bike and make it a rider's bike for sure.
Well, I think definitely over time, I think if you're going to throw a bunch of money at all at once, then you should be looking at other bikes, maybe in different price categories.
Yeah, because this bike's so cheap, you can save up.
At $300, you can put, I mean, that gives you, what, $700 before you hit that $1,000 mark? $700, if you hit sales and you look around a little bit, you check some of our videos and our links out, you could put together this for $1,000. If we were all in at $1,000, and we bought this with our own money, by the way.
Yeah.
If we got up to $1,000, we put $700 into this bike, we could make this thing awesome.
Yeah, I think so. So.
Not saying that we should. I'm just saying we could.
So take it as you will, guys. Let us know your comments on this bike. Let us know if you've got this bike. I do want to bring back the viewers' rides. If you guys are interested in that, you guys can always email us at viewersrides@yahoo.com and send some pictures of your bike, send some upgrade stuff, because on some of these episodes coming into the season, they can be exciting to do that. All right? So, guys, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, show your boys some love. Buy us a cup of coffee to help support builds and buys like this, because it's paid for with our own money. Or you can also become a patron like a lot of our patrons.
Well, if they can handle the language, because something tells me some of the actions tonight might make the next blooper or cut reel. And it won't be edited. And it was, I went full sailor.
Patrons, thank you guys for being patrons as always. And all our supporters out there, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, turn those notifications on. We're going to be doing a real-time review on this bike and putting it to the test and seeing what she's made of. All right? Hopefully nothing breaks. Hopefully she holds up. I'm looking forward to a possible upgrade.
Hopefully you don't break.
Lowering the weight.
Yeah, it needs to shed a few pounds. We need to put on a diet. Not like me tonight with the Taco Bell, for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will see you on the next Wolfstick Videos episode. We appreciate you guys watching.
Yeah.